Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast.
This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 2, Episode 4, The Evil Dead.
If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast. So what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast. We talk horror movies in the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central live on Twitch. I am your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors, David. Wait, we got the thing. Here we go. Where is it? David, killer if you can, lover boy, Jessup. David, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We also have Jake, hit it, Kingston. Jake, how are you doing today?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm here. Thank y'all
yeah.
for having me once again.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, next we've got Jay. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. McGroovy. Jay, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing just great.
Fuck yeah. And finally got Ethan. It's the trees, Ash. They know Eastwood. Ethan, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Ready to talk some Evil Dead. Let's get it.
I'm excited about this one. Let's do a little bit of a description. Released October 15th, 1981, with a running time of 85 minutes, a budget of $375,000. Box office pool was $29.4 million. That is some returns right there.
That is some cheddar.
2.9 million.
Well, it's disputable because I saw that on Wikipedia. 2.9 or 29.4 million with the re-releases and everything. So,
Re-releases, yes, but initial opening.
initial opening,
still not
2.9.
horrible.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, yeah,
Not
it's a
bad
great
at all.
turnaround.
Synopsis. Is that how you say it? Synopsis? Yeah,
Synopsis.
five friends are spending the weekend in a remote cabin in the woods. While investigating the cellar, they discover a tape and a decaying old book full of strange incantations. The tape is played, and it unleashes powerful evil force from the force that is determined to destroy every last one of them. Evil Dead. Guys, do we got history with this movie? David, you first. Do you have any history with the Evil Dead, sir?
So this is a weird. Evil Dead's a weird thing for me. I love it, absolutely love it. But I remember watching. Oh my God, I'm rambling. I'm old as shit. Okay, back in the day, we didn't have Rotten Tomatoes. We didn't have the internet. We had Siskel and Ebert, and I remember watching them review Evil Dead. And I wanted to see this movie so bad because they just talked about how gory it was. Well, they didn't have it in our town, so I couldn't see it, and I watched Evil Dead 2 in the movie theater, and then I found Evil Dead like a year later at some kind of weird obscure video store, and I watched it, and I was very confused because I'm like, this is just Evil Dead 2 is just a remake, basically. So it was very confusing, but yeah, I love this movie. It's awesome, and I too, like Jay, just watched it today, like right before then I watched a couple documentaries about it as well. So yeah, man, all good, love it.
Love it too, man.
Hey,
It's such a
friends,
great movie.
we got a new follower already. Welcome to Camp Slash, Mr. and or Mrs. Kwai Huan Jin.
Hey, welcome,
Hey.
Kwai Juan.
I'm gonna guess that's my friend Juan. So Juan, thank you so much if that is you. We appreciate you checking out the cast and coming into the chat to talk with us.
And we also, on the YouTube side of things, we got Raphael C. saying, sweet
who that
perfect
is.
time as the storm rolls in. Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, Ralph.
What's up?
Steve?
What's
Raph?
happening? So yes, so Jake and shit, I like the name. What is your history with the movie?
Just one of those ones growing up with. I feel like it's the same story every time I fucking tell it, unless it's one that I saw in actual movie theaters. But these are all older movies that we watch. It's just one that I caught when I was growing up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I love the movie. It's really good, but I don't. That's my experience with it.
Right on. Jay McGroovy, what you
Yeah,
got?
For me, I mean, I can remember like it was yesterday, but like, in as far as like having complete and total memories of the Evil Dead trilogy, I would say I watched them in reverse, completely in reverse.
So you went Army of Darkness, Evil
Didn't
Dead 2.
didn't know it was an Evil Dead movie.
Well, they used to have pages in comics with that fucking Army of Darkness.
You mean
Poster
like
it.
that?
Yes,
Oh.
that exact same fucking picture
Oh,
was
that's
in
gorgeous.
comics. Every fucking time I flipped through a
Yep.
fucking comic.
And I had no idea it was Evil Dead though. But
Yes.
so then I saw Evil Dead 2 about 2 years later, and I was like, now that I remember, now it made me love Army of Darkness more, but it also endeared Evil Dead 2. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. And then like 3 weeks later, I finally watched Evil Dead 1, and I was like, wow, woo! Like like the sequel. I'll just say is an improvement, but I will say that Evil Dead 1 is still one of the most important movies absolutely ever made. It is basically, in my opinion, like one of the original action horror movies. Like if you really think about it, like this is a movie where people take action to live, and they go to extreme measures. And this movie, it was a game changer. I think you guys could all agree with that.
It's right up there with Night of the Living Dead as far as being an influential horror film.
So funny you mentioned that. Jay made the comparison of Night of the Living Dead to this movie the other night when we were talking about it, saying, the idea of the house in the woods, or, where people have to hide, but what you were saying, Jay, is they took the idea of the zombies and changed it to possessed, people. And the whole idea of dismemberment comes even more personal. So I just wanted to add that in. I thought that was very insightful that we were talking about.
It absolutely, that movie was not that old when Evil Dead came out. It was barely 13 years. I think Night of the Living Dead came out in 1968. So it's only been about 13 years since that. And they took a genre that had already been kind of almost not really saturated, but it's definitely on its peak. And they elevated it. I just think there's just something really palpable about that they just really kind of cling on to. And let's be real, this thing started an empire, because Evil Dead is everywhere. It is everywhere. And this is the start of that.
I had a question. I don't know if either of y'all know this. So looking for it on Amazon, they have Evil Dead, which says 1983 next to it, and they have The Evil Dead, which says 1981 next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried looking it up today, see if there's any difference. I know that the VHS copy wasn't released until 1983, but there's two different trailers, and there's two different times that they say on there it was released in 81 or 83. If it was the 83 version, which would be the VHS version, is there any difference between the two? Is that a director's cut, or is the answer to this, Jay?
I've actually never seen a definitive director's cut of Evil Dead 1 or 2. The only ones I've seen were for Army of Darkness.
But did you know about the 81, 83 fucking thing going on here?
Well, when I read was it Confessions of a B-movie actor, and he talked about it at length and ad nauseum about the production of this. I think it might have had just different release dates, like on different continents. Like I think it might have had a UK release date and a US release date.
Yeah, that makes sense. But one is also called The Evil Dead, and the other one is just called Evil Dead.
Well, that happens. That actually happened quite a bit with a lot of movies in the 70s and 80s, where they just got slight tweaks.
Okay.
Depending on the country, so that could be
makes sense. But I just didn't understand why they had both of them on Amazon whenever.
Hey, Jacob, do they have different runtimes?
No, there maybe like a minute difference, if that. I didn't notice.
I think I can clarify it real quick.
What's up?
But real quick, we want to give a shout out to Dan. He says release the Evil Dead Snyder cut. So Dan,
on top of that, Dan,
Amy cut, you idiot.
I was trying to wait for the segue to slide this in. On top of that, Dan also gifted 3 tier 1 subs to
Thank you,
people in our
Dan.
chat. So
Freaking
you,
Red
Dan,
Nebula
so much.
Pictures. Be sure
See
you go
you.
check them out.
We'll see you
Yes.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was watching Dan play some games earlier today, so always check out his channel whenever he streams, and we were having a blast doing so. Yeah, I think what it was 81 was the initial release for the investors, and they showed that, and then it took until 83 to actually release it on VHS and theatrical at the same time, and most of that was in foreign countries. And what ended up happening is in Europe, it became known as a video nasty. Jay knows a little bit more about that. But basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, video nasties were like the censored versions, the uncut versions of.
They wouldn't release them in general, though.
That's what a nasty means.
Yeah,
it was basically a death sentence.
A Clockwork Orange is one of the, I think, probably the first one, right?
Probably.
Yeah,
it's probably up there.
But I mean, there's like 17 or 18 different ones that are labeled video nasty.
And they actually took Sam Raimi to court in England, and they were going to jail him because of the creation of the Evil Dead. And finally the judge watched the movie, and he's like, this is fine. It's whatever. Yeah. So he got out of it.
Rape people all the time.
Yeah, it's a normal
Oh
thing.
my God. Talk about that scene.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second.
It's definitely because of that scene. Yeah.
Let's finish our history with the movie. I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Big Nick. He's the one who introduced me, and all metal kids fucking love the Evil Dead. It's basically religion to them. And he introduced me to it, and we smoked a shit ton of pot and drank beers, and we watched the Evil Dead. And actually, the first time I watched it was another metal kid. It was Nick Rankin, kid I went to school with. He had me watch it. And at the time I watched it, talking about the tree rape, I watched it with him and my girlfriend at the time. And when the tree rape scene came up, she left the room crying. And I had to go console her for like an hour or two because I didn't know why she was crying. And the whole time he's out there in the living room watching the movie, laughing his ass off. And that's where I come down to, like, there's two types of people who cry at that scene and people who laugh their ass off. And if you laugh your ass off, you're probably a cool person because it's demented as shit. But so
you're probably a cool person if you laugh at the tree rape scene.
It's hysterical.
Okay, Duck.
Hey,
quote.
Hey, look, but just so you know,
let's separate this. Not because the tree is raping her.
Yeah.
But because the absurdity of it.
Okay, and you know what?
Phrasing matters.
I'm trying to fucking protect you.
You're trying to
say it. Like, I just want to walk this back a bit.
No,
hold up. Don't cancel that.
Yeah. When Ethan watched the movie with me, the first time he watched it, guess who laughed at the tree rape?
I laughed at it because it's a ridiculous situation.
Yes.
And it looks ridiculous. It's so absurd. You can't.
So there's
help.
like 3 types of people. Let's be clear.
So yes, the first time I watched it was that, and then the first time I actually got to watch the whole thing was with my buddy Big Nick, and we watched all 3 back to back, and we had a fucking blast doing so. Ethan, you finally got history with the movie, like I just said. I know the first time you watched it because I handed it down to you.
You know the history because you are the history of this movie. What was it, like a year ago, 2 years ago? Came over one night, one of our many movie marathons. We watched Evil Dead 1 and 2 back to back, and yeah, it's amazing. The camera work's phenomenal, and I love this movie. And I mean, I fucking have Army of Darkness staring at me on my own home wall. So,
hey, Ethan,
Evil Dead's the best.
Since you watched Evil Dead 1 and 2 back to back in chronological order, what was your thought on Evil Dead 2 being a remake? Were you confused by it, or did you know it was a remake?
The only reason I knew it was a remake was because Duck told me ahead of time. It's kind of a requel.
I've never heard that before, but I like that because Evil Dead 2 does add a lot that Evil Dead 1 didn't have. They bring in the professor, his daughter, and all that stuff, and so so a requel is a good description.
I was gonna say C-boot. What the fuck?
It's almost like it picks up halfway through the first movie, recaps all that, and then rewrites
That's a great way of looking at it. Yeah.
So, and then even then, kind of Army of Darkness does a little bit of that too with the beginning of it, but not near as much as 2 to Evil Dead 1.
It's more of a plot device in Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 2 to Army of Darkness, but it syncs up
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Much better than 1 to 2.
It's like Rogue One to Episode 4.
Yeah.
Right up.
We're good. We're
or
good.
or Halloween 2. Just boom.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Jason. He's in the chat too. He said Nick's a cool guy, ergo laughing at tree rape is cool.
Hey, I got new merch. I'm gonna get those T-shirts made for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you stick around after the show. Get my T-shirts.
Tree rape is cool.
Tree rape is cool.
Well, it was fun, guys. Thanks for coming out to the last episode of Camp Slash Horrorcast.
All right, we got to get into it, okay? Because that's a huge part of this movie.
We have to.
And that is when the batteries drop. That is the moment in this movie where you go, holy shit, what the fuck am I watching? Why are the woods raping this woman? Yeah. And like I said, that's the in or the out point of the movie. Either you continue to watch it or you go, I am good. And they did that by design. The person who came up with that was the producer of the movie. And he's like, if we do this scene, if we make it this intense, people are going to, be terrified.
They'll never forget it.
No, it's designed to be the moment where they go, okay, are you taking the red pill or the blue pill, Neo? Because it's like, it's not going to get a lot better after this. Right. So this is a good place to draw your line, draw your boundary as to what you're comfortable watching.
This ain't your grandma's horror movie right here.
It's about to get real, and it does.
So this,
and I gotta be honest, man. I don't feel bad for her. She walks out into the woods by herself, and she's saying, "Who's out there? Who's out there? Who's out there?" I'm sorry. This is a time when the phrase "she had it coming" actually works. By the way, that will be on my T-shirts also. Tree rape is funny on the back.
Tree
of it.
Rape is funny. She had it coming.
She had it coming. So.
You're gonna put it on your fucking epitaph, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, buddy.
Oh my God.
I mean, we're already talking about it. So,
we are still on Twitch, right? We didn't
shut it down. So, what did the movie begins? It's your typical kids going out to the woods, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's Ash. You don't even know he's the main character at that time. It could be anyone at that.
Did this begin the trope of the cabin in the woods?
I don't know.
I think didn't Friday the 13th come out like 80?
Yeah, but technically this was filmed in 79. It didn't release until 81. They started filming way early.
Probably helped solidify the trope at the very least. I mean, with
if you say Cabin in the Woods, I think Evil Dead. That's the movie I go to.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Jay was saying the other day too, this is a student film in so many ways. And that's what's intriguing about this movie. The history of the movie and how they did it was Sam Raimi had found out that he could show his movies that he made when he was a teenager at his college, because they could rent for free a theater. And basically what they did was they showed it and they made $10,000 showing his like old 8mm movies. Well, he's like, well, shit, let's drop out of college and make a movie. So they went to a bunch of financiers. Now his brother was a doctor at the time, and he was interconnected with other doctors in the area. So they went to everyone. It was Ivan, right?
His older brother.
Yeah. And so they went to all these basically dentists and doctors, etc., and asked them to invest. And they'd made a short film called Into the Woods, I believe is what it's called, which was basically the idea for the Evil Dead at that time, known as the Book of the Dead. And he said, this is what we can make a movie. This is what we have. And so they got the investors to give them the money. And I think initially they had $125,000 that they got, but the production ballooned because they just kept filming and filming and filming. And so even when they were done filming in the woods, we were only supposed to film for 6 weeks and they ended up filming for 12. Then they would film in their friend's basement or wherever they could find an area that they could film in. And they were constantly making this movie until it was finally finished. So I love the history of it. Go ahead, Jake.
Bruce Campbell put his family's house and property up also to fund the rest of this movie.
Right, so they could blow it up to 35mm.
And to expand upon what you were saying about them filming in different locations, yeah, they filmed the majority of it at the house or the shack in Tennessee, but even in the basement, they didn't have a basement there, so they had to carve out like 4 feet underground just to get the shots to make it look like they were looking up at the basement. Whereas whenever they did the shots in the basement, like Ash looking up, that was in a cellar in fucking Michigan. you
Right.
know. So
It
they
was
did that a
the
couple different
producer's
times.
parents' house.
Yeah,
That's where they they shot
yeah.
the cellar stuff.
But I mean, it's shocking whenever the other guy who's not Ash, the blonde guy, chops up his girlfriend, and
Scott.
the actress is literally under the floor
Yeah.
with her head poking out. I always wondered how they did that scene.
Dude, the fact that nobody was killed during the making of this movie
Holy
is
fuck.
probably I mean, they used real ammo, they used real glass, like the shit that no stunts, no stunt doubles. They did all this. The fact that no one died during the making of this movie is a miracle.
I knew they used a lot of real shit, but I had no idea they were using real ammo.
All
real
12
ammo.
all 12 fake shimps made it out alive.
Yeah,
the
because
idea of a fake shimp is the actresses, you know, they were only contracted for a period of time. So everything you see in the third act is just it's basically Ted Raimi just dressed up like a woman who's a zombie.
Or his producer Robert Tappert or Ted or
and you know what? I think it works because you notice there is that phrase that we throw around, some uncanny valley.
Mhm.
There's an uncanny valley when the Deadites have this weird shape to them, and you realize now watching documentaries, it's a man with, you know, fake boobs, but there's something cool about it. You know, there's something really twisted about the Deadites, how they look off and contorted.
It
They have a
adds to
culture. They have
yeah.
a culture.
Yeah,
They really
right.
do. Like, yeah,
What
they
do
have
you
like
mean?
they're very defined. And the definitions of them, obviously, as we'll discuss as we discuss the other movies, they evolve with them.
The Deadites, yeah,
Oh, for
absolutely.
sure.
Yep.
And I mean, that's what's wonderful about this movie is it's a slow burn, and once it hits the rails, you know, it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and it's such a roller coaster ride for the second and third act. But they take their time in that first act, just building up just enough of the creepiness, you know, like when they go up to the shack. And I love that car that he puts in all the movies, is whatever.
It's the 88, man.
Yeah.
Oldsmobile Delta 88. And
Yeah.
it's in every single fucking movie besides one, Heart of the Game. It's a drama with Kevin Costner, you know, he's a pitcher or whatever.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has a deleted scene with it somewhere.
For the love of the game.
Even in The Quick and the Dead, the fucking 88 is in that fucking movie.
Really?
They either put a wagon covering over it, or it's on underneath a tarp in a barn or something. But he
That's
snuck it in.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
so that's every fucking movie. I mean, all the Spider-Man movies that's in there. It was the car that Sylvia Ganush drove and fucking Drag Me to Hell.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
It's
so funny.
it's been around.
Yeah,
And that's the opening scene where they're driving in and how the camera kind of floats behind it. And I didn't know until I read on IMDb today how they did that. Was they just put the camera on a 2x4 and they had two people on each side of it going through.
Or Sam Raimi would sit inside of a dinghy and Bruce Campbell would fucking push him, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, the Coen brothers, they worked on this movie too.
They the one
which
of them
makes sense
edited.
because they produced A Simple Plan, also a Raimi movie. So
It feels like a Coen Brothers movie though. doesn't
Well,
it?
the shot
does,
of-
but it's Raimi.
The first person shot of the Evil Dead spirit at the end, wasn't it Sam Raimi on a bicycle going through the house?
Such a cool fucking shot.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
Dude,
so well
so
done.
good.
It's so well done.
That one and the hand in the mirror. That was
Oh,
fucking great. dude.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Like
You know how they
it
did the hand in
it.
the mirror? They just
Well,
is
yes,
the kiddie pool. And
yeah,
they just put the frame
just
over
put the
it.
frame around it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's obvious. But once you see it, you don't realize it's gonna fucking happen until you fucking see it. You're like, dude, that's fucking progressive as fuck for horror movies or just visuals in movies at that point, I would say.
Well, that's what we got to talk about. The camera work in this, how unique it is, because there's a reason he got Spider-Man eventually. Like he films this like a comic book in a lot of ways. There's shots in this that have not been duplicated since, and like they're absolutely stunning. Like somebody said earlier, like the shot from under the stairs where Bruce Campbell's going up in the third act. The fact that the camera's tilted at that
Dutch tilt.
Dutch tilted, yeah, and like it implies that he's losing his sanity. You know what I mean? Whenever the camera pans from the very back of his head, it's upside down to the front, and he just kind of looks into it, like all this stuff. And the thing is, whether it was intentional or not that they did all this camera work, because they didn't have continuity. No one even thought to do that. They were just filming stuff, and hoping for the best.
That
So-
looks cool.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
control.
I like that. You like that? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Well,
exactly-
one of my
that looks
favorite-
fucking cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is the camera that's behind the clock, and you can see the thing going back
Yes!
and forth.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it
it's cool.
froze. It froze. The pendulum froze on it, and the time was frozen also. And then whenever he fucking buries Linda, or he gets rid of fucking Cheryl or whatever, time goes back and it's back to fucking ticking. I noticed that also in the background. That's another part of him losing his fucking sanity.
Well, that's the three separate acts. If you look at it, the intro, the camera's more stationary. As the Deadite stuff starts to happen, everything becomes more centered, and there becomes a more handheld approach to everything. And then that third act, even though it's chaotic, it's very controlled. It's controlled chaos. It feels like insanity, and it's
Well, what happens is, as soon as when he goes to the basement to get the shotgun shells, when he comes out of the basement, that's when the first shot is the Dutch angle,
right.
and so that's when you first start getting those really, really hard angles. I tell you what, man, this movie, I jumped a lot. I hadn't watched it in a long time. There's some legit jump scares in this, and they are so good. They're done so well. And the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is, after watching this again for the first time, I get the feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys have seen anything else about this, I get the feeling that this movie was shot as a horror film, whereas Evil Dead 2 seems to be shot as a comedy.
Yeah, the reason because he did have to go to England, and the courts, like, they literally wanted to put Sam Raimi in jail for making this movie. He decided to make the remake more of a comedy for that reason, to stay out of jail. That's why it's less bloody and there's more obscure stuff happening.
Well, there's another reason that he kind of had to make Evil Dead 2 a comedy, is because he had already attempted another comedy called Crime Wave.
I remember that. That's got that great scene of the guy going through the doors, right?
Yeah, it's a really funny movie, but it
Tanked.
So they're like, you need to go back to what you know how to do, and so he did. But he brought this back with him, so it's a sacrifice. It's an amazing art, like a sacrifice fly to get to make the sequel. But yeah, I think that's a big reason why it was more comedic. He had already tested the waters. He was pretty seasoned at it at that point, I thought.
What was
Jake, what
interesting
were you
is,
gonna
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I don't understand how the fuck England could have the audacity to try to put somebody that's American into jail for making a fucking movie that they don't agree with. None of this makes sense to me.
I
He's not
agree
even
with you.
fucking born there. What are they gonna do? Extradite his ass for making this fucking content?
That's what I thought too. It
I
didn't
don't-
make
I
any
don't-
sense to me either.
I
Like,
really
why
don't
would you
get
even
it.
go?
I'm sorry. Y'all
Yeah.
can carry on, but this does not make any sense to me.
Go ahead, David. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, when they first screened the movie, the producers or the investors thought people were laughing, but they were actually cheering. So they were just so into it. They just fucking loved it.
Well, that's why this is another movie you can watch by yourself and it works. And I think it is legit scary. Like, this movie does have, even though the makeup, the latex isn't great, and you can see that they drew the veins on or the crevices and this and that, I think the atmosphere of the movie is scary. But I think when you watch with a friend, it makes it a whole new experience. It changes it completely.
So
Yes.
I wanted to point out also, when they originally started doing this, drive-in movie theaters were massive back then, and drive-in movie theaters, you could get away with a lot more. The ratings boards didn't really monitor them as much, and this movie has such a late 70s grindhouse horror drive-in movie theater feel.
It was the perfect movie, man.
Yeah,
Perfect grindhouse movie.
it's just so it's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in that super like grainy look, and like just it has a forbidden feel about it. Like,
But-
this is
but
a
at the same
movie that you wouldn't see.
But at
the
the same
theaters.
time, it's like, it's hip too now.
Yeah.
It's hip. It's hip to like
Mhm.
Evil Dead.
Yep.
I mean, I love it. Go ahead, Jake. What were you going to say?
I forget now. Doesn't matter.
No,
doesn't matter.
let's go back to the grindhouse idea of it. This movie is down and dirty, and once you get to the second act, shit starts happening between the pencil stabbing in the ankle.
That is so well done, too.
Yeah,
Through the Achilles, man. Fuck
right,
yeah.
and that makes you cringe, and you feel
Ah,
that. That
yeah.
hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time.
That hurts.
Sympathy
I like-
pains.
I liked the stop motion makeup effect afterwards. After he went to go look at the
And
stab
it
wound.
spiders out.
And it's that was
Yeah.
fucking really cool, dude. I was like, okay, I'll buy this.
Right, the dismemberment of the girlfriend, and there at one point, my favorite line in the movie is whenever he's chopping her to pieces, you hear the demon under the cellar say, "No, you love her." Like, no, you love her, you love her. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that gave me chills.
Oh, dude.
And
So
afterwards, with that, just having that, Ash has that moment where he's like, "Well, we wake up in the morning, we'll get out of here. Me, you, Shelly." No, not Shelly.
think-
That's so
okay.
cool.
Seriously.
Cheryl.
Okay, I want you all to get into a mindset. It's 1981, we'll say, and there's a movie where to survive you have to dismember your significant other. That's a plot point, and
Well,
that's
and
pretty
especially-
fresh.
Especially
pretty
when
fresh plot.
when
That's-
the
pretty new.
Deadite goes back to being the girl, and she's like, "Please, Ash, don't." And then, to me, the creepiest thing of all wasn't gory, and you don't even see the person, but the camera pans over to the cellar, and you hear the girl going, "Ash, let me out. I'm
Yeah.
better now. I'm better now. Let me out." That was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
And another thing I'd like to point out is I love it when a movie like this, it's like Alien, in that when you watch Alien, you think Dallas is going to be the hero. If you watch this movie right off the bat, you think it's the blonde haired guy driving the car is
Yeah.
going to be the guy that makes it. And Ash, his story arc is pretty interesting. He's a pussy in the beginning.
He's
Like,
Jughead, man.
Yeah, he
Yep.
really is, man. And he's like, "I don't want to do. What are we doing?" And then the other guys, and I tell you, my favorite scene is when the guy is telling him, "We're getting out of here," and he's like, "Well, what about her? What about her?" He's like, "I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's your girlfriend. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
leaving." I love that scene where he's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Well, you also see his genuine fear towards the end also. Like he's fucking shaking before
Yeah.
all the shit goes down. Like he's like looking around, you could tell he's not that person. And I think, like you said, this totally adds to his character arc why he's such a badass in Army of Darkness and Ash versus Evil Dead. He's been through some fucking serious shit leading up to this.
Yeah, and you're right. Ash's character changes. The Ash that we all know, the shirtless guy who's the open guy who's got the chainsaw hand and the boomstick, that really comes from Army of Darkness.
This one sows the seed, though.
It's
Yeah.
exactly. So it feels like he has an arc. but,
Sows the seed.
and can you even really consider it? Because the second movie and the third movie obviously are interconnected. You could always say that all three of these movies are not connected.
I always
I-
connect them.
I
I
feel
always
like
do.
they are.
They
but
are.
The second and the third definitely are.
I still connect the first one.
First and second.
I'll make an excuse, and every time I see it, and it'll probably change every time. But I'm like, I'll go, oh, it's this. This is why.
Well,
Okay.
initially for the second movie, they were going to refilm most of the stuff that happened, abbreviated, and then they weren't able to do it. So that's why they just do it with him and his girlfriend out in the woods, and then the dancing, the stop motion dancing decapitated corpse, which is fucking great. I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
the movie and talk about it. But
Yeah.
I will say I like this movie better than the second one, and I love all the movies, but I feel like this one's legit scary.
And I agree with you, Duck. I like it for that reason. This is a horror movie, whereas Evil Dead 2 and the other ones are horror comedy.
Yes.
Camp.
Yeah.
Totally.
Camp, yeah.
This is straight up horror, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't try to be anything else.
And
Well,
it works.
Oh, yeah,
fucking
it totally works.
Like from the finding the tape recorder in the basement, to hearing it being played, to Cheryl freaking out and saying, "I don't want to hear it." Just all of that stuff works. I didn't realize Cheryl was Ash's sister either until I was reading up on this. I don't know if they ever clarify that in the movie.
There's one line.
One
There's
line.
one line, yeah. But in the beginning, I didn't know either. In the beginning, I
Yeah.
tell you what, my batteries drop moment. Even though I love I don't love the tree rake scene. Even though the tree rake scene is pretty horrific. For me, it's when they're reading the cards, and then the girl has her back to the
Yeah.
camera, and
Yeah.
she starts
She's-
reading them off.
Yeah.
Calling out
Yeah,
every
that-
single card.
Or
Dude,
she's
that
like
gave
just
me
pulling them.
chills.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little psychic energy. Psychic
Yeah.
movies were hot around this time, like Carrie.
Mhm.
So there's a bunch of knockoffs of that one. But yeah, this is still in that vein of that girl with the telepathic powers, she can be evil. Like I'm telling you, they channeled a lot of that in this like that.
And what are the rules? Are the rules you have to be touched by,
It's
the
whatever
Deadite
the
to do
demon
it,
wants
or
to play by,
whatever?
man.
That's always been a real fluid situation. I've always found
Because
Well,
Ash should have been possessed, and
should have been.
he is possessed in the second one.
Exactly.
He does get
Right.
possessed in the second one.
And I mean, that scene how the movie ends with the camera panning in on him, that is the possession right there.
and
The-
that's
Yeah,
where
of
it catches
course.
up to the second movie.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And what a great ending, man! The way that ends, and then they play that creepy 1920s music.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
You got some big band swing music.
Yeah.
I think there's actually I know there's some master cuts out there from people that have actually cut Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 together to where they completely tie together.
Mhm.
It's just amazing editing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I mean-
cool because they directly go to the end of the first movie and they pop right in, and they're able to just edit out like the girlfriend, and actually it's pretty cool the way they did it. It's
I
pretty
think for
cool.
the most part, so long as you just add in the rest of his friends and his sister and kind of cut out his girlfriend from the second one, it flows in pretty naturally.
Yeah.
I just,
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe y'all can tell me this. I just don't understand why the second one didn't pull from
Production
those
company.
threads.
It was
But
different
Oh, I'll tell you why.
production
I'll tell you why. They literally didn't have the rights to the first movie.
That's what it is.
They
New
could have
Line
actually
Cinema-
been sued. They could have been
New
sued
Line.
if they didn't make it less like the first one for some reason.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, New Line Cinema owns the rights to the first movie, and they said, nope, that's not happening. Because, like I said, they wanted to, even to the point, go back and recreate, and they're like, no, if it's too close, then we're going to get in trouble.
that's why it's the Evil Dead and then
That's
Evil Dead 2.
Dead,
So
Book of the
weird.
Dead,
But-
whatever.
I tell you what, man. Big props to whoever designed that movie poster, because that is one of the most iconic movie posters ever.
Oh, the
Right,
for
hand,
sure.
the hand
Yes.
grabbing the neck.
Yeah.
Yes, so good.
How
The way
about,
it's at a tilted, going up, so good.
I was going to say, how about the, what is your favorite gore scene? Because this movie has a ton of it, but like whether it's the pencil or whether it's the girlfriend getting the head chopped off with the, which is so good with the shovel, and then the head sitting there going, it's so fucking creepy. Ethan, what is your favorite piece of gore from this movie?
Maybe it's kind of lame, but I really liked at the end watching all of the Deadites kind of that claymation decrowed away and just
Yeah.
that was I don't know why that worked for me. That was really, really cool looking.
Yeah, Jake.
For me, it was whenever Scott and Ash killed Linda, and her body parts were still wiggling on the fucking floor.
Oh yeah,
That's
was
a good
so
one.
cool.
Fucking pieces. I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, it's fucking badass. How about you, Jay? What's your favorite piece of gore from this?
I'll tell you what, maybe not my favorite gore, but maybe my favorite fight scene was the one where they involved the Kandarian dagger. I don't think the Kandarian dagger gets nearly enough mention.
I feel like it should have
Yeah.
been a bigger part throughout the entire fucking series.
Yeah. And so that fight scene where she's biting her own hand off, that was
Oh,
to me
yeah.
just like, I was like, oh, okay. This movie is still just like, you think we're done with you. It just keeps pushing the envelope, man.
You're
Really
It
did.
keeps
does.
grinding. It keeps grinding.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, David? What was your favorite piece of gore from this?
I love the when the Deadites are exploding and you have these hands
Yeah.
coming out of their backs. I think it reminds me of The Thing, kind of. I love that, and also not really a gore scene, but I love when I love the actress that plays. I think it's his girlfriend, and she's just messing with him, and she's got the eye contacts in, and her voice and her laughter. Her laughter is so evil and just so good. I love that. But yeah, the hands.
The baby doll voice where she's acting
Yeah.
like an infant or whatever it is, and it just makes it creepier. Evidently, they were just trying out stuff on the set, and she started talking like that, and everyone was like, "Make her stop! Make her stop!" And they're like, we hit gold with this one because
Heck
you
yeah,
thought of-
man. Man, it's just so many,
Yeah.
so many right moves.
I like the chainsaw scene where he goes in and it does the iconic snap Editing. I think
Stop
that's
motion editing, yeah.
Yeah, where he goes snap, 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 which Edgar Wright, has stolen and put in almost all of his movies.
A lot of quick cuts.
The quick
Yep.
cut, close ups on the stuff, and then that chainsaw when it revs up, and you're like, the implied violence of it is enough. You don't even need to see it because you're like, he's going to do it, and you kind of want him to, but you kind of don't, because she at that point is reverted from the Deadite to human form again.
But did y'all see how absolutely kind of gentle they made that scene though? When after he's done ratcheting her up, there's not this crazed look in his eye. It looks very ceremonial, like he's truly regretting what he is about to have to do, but that he does
painful.
But that he has to do it. Like, it's really rocking a hard place. That it looked difficult for him to do that, and I think this movie shows off some of Bruce Campbell's best acting chops.
Yeah, it's good acting and good directing.
Yeah. Also, I think, Jay, the reason why he was looking so somber is that chainsaw is fucking real. And it's on, and he is holding it above her.
3 inches from her, yeah.
3 inches from her. So, I mean, it's like, I think it's acting, but it's also him like, I could fucking just chainsaw her tits off and murder her. And you were talking about the Kardarian dagger, Jay?
Yeah.
Let's see what this.
What
is this right here?
There we go, man. There we go.
Damn Kardashian dagger.
They made
a nice Candelorian dagger.
So I think we can all agree that the dagger. Can I talk about the dagger's history a little bit?
Go off, Jay. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember the Kandarian dagger being a big part of this one, and then the second one, it's even bigger. And then the third one,
gone
with the wind. But in the first video game I ever played on Dreamcast, it's back, and I'm like, it just felt good that somebody out there, gave it a story.
Well, but it also becomes a staple in the whole Ash versus Evil Dead series, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Which is, I feel guilty. I've never watched. And so
it's good.
I feel, I need to. That's going to be my homework.
You'd be a little mad at the amount of CGI, because it is there and it is plenty, but I think it's very well done. But it's
But they do a lot of practical effects, don't they?
Sure, they do some, but don't expect a lot of CGI. I'll just say that.
Well, thank you for warning me.
Yeah, just so you're not surprised going on.
The practical effects in this movie, because it's all practical. They're unbelievable, and they hold up. That's what's wonderful. And it doesn't. I think the fact that the makeup looks fake makes it seem more real, if that makes sense. It has a haunted house vibe to it, where like anytime in person I've seen people, they're painted like that. You know what I mean? Like at a haunted house or Halloween or whatever it is. And a lot of people will complain with how fake it looks. I buy it, and it makes it creepier for me. Just these demons just being. Like, and you never know what to expect, because they change their look all the time. Like whenever the girl he throws her into the cellar and she's trying to get out of the cellar, and he's hitting her with the back of the gun. That
was a straight up fucking puppet at that point.
Exactly, you can tell.
Yeah, that was
it's still creepy looking, and it works. And so every time it gets hit in the head, I'm like, oh, like it makes me happy.
Well, they filmed for 12 weeks and they had 12 different fake shimps. I mean, we touched on this, but they all dressed up as different people. So every time the makeup was different, they had a reference. They took photos, and then they tried to apply it to people with different facial structures and everything else, which I think honestly added to the creepiness of it, because it's ever changing. So you don't know like who the fuck you're actually dealing with at a lot of points.
Well, that means they're more and more possessed. That's how it feels. You know what I mean? Like these are not.
Yeah, there's multiple demons inside of them being
right.
Yeah,
and it's so great. It's just so creepy, and it never bothered me at all. Like I could always be like, that's that character, but that character doesn't exist anymore. They're just a demon at this point. So good, David.
So when he comes up out of the cellar after getting hit the shotgun shells, and we start doing the Dutch angles, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any more dialogue after that, is there?
You know what? I don't know if there is.
What's the question? What's the question?
So the question is, when Ash comes up out of the cellar after getting the shotgun shells, and then the camera angles start doing Dutch angles.
Yeah, no, because he's walking through the hall, and that's where he fucking goes to the mirror and everything else. It's all just.
I think you're right.
It's all emotion. It's him acting. That's why I was talking about him being genuinely fucking scared.
I mean, that's almost half the movie. I would say a quarter of the movie is dialogue.
that's a lot of it's a lot of weight to put on an actor's shoulders too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, this movie's just such a home run. It just really is.
It is, and it holds up too. That's the other thing, is it's still legit, and you can view it as a student film. You can view it as, like they threw everything in the kitchen sink and the mirror in the wall.
Stephen King.
Good, yes,
Loves
Stephen
it.
King.
That
Without
sold
him
the
saying
movie.
that
Yes.
quote, this movie does not probably find the audience that it finds, but because he said, I can't remember what the quote was.
Most like original movie of like, I don't know. I think that's what it is.
The most
Let's look it
original
up.
horror movie of the time or something like that. But he wasn't wrong about that. But having the grandiose statement from King just totally propelled it to a new level. And like you guys said, it was being shown in theaters. New Line, the way that New Line got started was exhibiting films. You know what I mean? Robert Shea, who created New Line, Bob Shea, he literally would just get filmed and go from place to place, set up screenings. And eventually he ended up making Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the first movie they produced. And so that they could actually make money and go and exhibit it. So that's how it happened with this movie too. It was a slow exposition or exhibiting it, but eventually it found its way to VHS, and that's where people found this movie. And
It is the most stolen VHS tape ever.
Yeah, I mean that's
because
insane.
it wasn't it was illegal in Germany for so long, up until like
even in the United States, it
Damn.
was supposedly the most stolen VHS tape.
Gore porn.
Yeah,
it's part of the sick nasties or whatever.
Down and dirties. What else do you guys want to say about the movie?
So it's loosely based on a somewhat true story that Sam Raimi told. I don't know if you'll know this, but he heard a story from the same area about somebody who supposedly lived in that cabin, that this little girl and her mother and her grandmother lived there. And there's a lightning storm one night. Little girl gets up to go in her mom's bed. The mom's fucking dead. She gets up out of shock after that, goes into the grandma's bed, and the grandma's dead too. Left in hysterics. Some neighbors, from the farm over, find her. They bring her in, adopt her, and raise her. And supposedly, while they were filming at the cabin, the farmer family came over and asked if they had seen an old lady, because it was about that time. Like, this was back in the 1920s. So she was an elderly woman at this point. And they said that she was prone to wandering off during rainstorms. And there was a rainstorm one night. They come knocking at the door, asking if they've seen her, and supposedly she was never seen again.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's an awesome story. You said that very well, Jake.
Thank you.
That was eloquent.
It's like,
did you know the original title before the original title? There was two different. The Book of the Dead. Yeah, but the original title was These Bitches Are Witches.
That's true. That's true.
It is true.
That's true. That's
100%.
true. Yep.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I swear to God, it is.
Hand to God.
They were fucking.
Yep.
These were college guys in the fucking 70s who wrote this movie, and that was the fucking working title that they went with. They went with Book of the Dead, and the producer said, "You know what? We're not going to put book in there because it's not going to attract the kids because it's too literary.
Afraid of reading.
Yeah, it's too literary. They're afraid of fucking reading.
Fucking
with
Evil
that title
Dead.
said, this movie has been criticized for being misogynistic in the past, especially with how they treat the women in this, because he beats the shit out of her as she's laughing at him. They chop them up like the tree rape.
They're all pretty much the first to die, anyways.
Well, they certainly corrected that in the fucking reboot. So
yeah, it's a different.
Hell yeah, they did.
Different movie. But like, I don't know. Do you guys see that this movie is misogynistic in any way? Does that hold any water for you guys?
I don't think it's
not at all.
I don't think it's doing the girls a ton of favors. But the girls are all extremely interesting now.
They steal the show.
Yeah, they're all very, very deep, characters. They all have their own, we only get to know them for a small while, but I think they definitely had some character about them.
Especially at the beginning when they're driving and they're all singing "Row, row, row your boat."
Sing me
Sing that song I like.
Sing that song I like.
Well, what's interesting is this movie does do something different. The idea of the final girl, which is was a horror trope. You get the final.
That's why his name is Ashley.
I mean,
I don't-
maybe.
I'm just saying.
Jacob, that could definitely be true.
But he's the final guy, and this is one of the first. I mean, he's one of the very few final guys in horror movies, and so it subverts that.
Would you guys agree that Ash is horror's first superhero?
Oh yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at the game Dead by Daylight that we all love to play. Who is the only really notable character that's on the hero side? It's Ash Williams.
It's Ash
For
Williams.
sure.
Yeah. And you have to download them. You have to buy that DLC. You have to have it. But
You're
that's
not going to just play Dead by Daylight and not be Ash.
actually
That's just not how it goes.
But yeah, no, he's totally horror superhero, and that's why I said the lore grows and grows until you get to the fucking evil or Army of Darkness, where he's talking boomstick and he's kicking out one-liners, and he just becomes that character that everyone loves.
Shop
even more
smart.
so-
Shop
as
as smart.
So
You got
it's
that?
freaking
I know.
quotable.
Yeah,
So
we gotta
quotable.
stop. We gotta stop talking about it.
Oh, it's so good.
You know
but
what's
yeah,
weird? You know what's weird is that I hadn't seen this movie in such a long time. My memory of it, I had parts of Evil Dead 2 in it. Like I swore I was waiting for the dancing skeleton stop motion
mhm.
Yeah.
because I swore that was from Evil Dead 1. And I was like, well, when is he going to put the shotgun on his arm? Like I didn't realize that never happens in the first one.
Right.
It
My
was a
first
very
time
weird
watching
thing.
it, I had that same thought because I knew the character didn't
knew
know the
about it.
context of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was expecting the whole time, ooh, there's a chainsaw. He's gonna do the thing and he's gonna No, never happens.
Yeah,
What a
but
cock tease.
yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Just a
very
little.
weird. It was like what's the Mandela effect? Like my Mandela effect memory of this movie was all fucked up.
It's a perfect two movies for the Mandela effect because you can kind of blend into both any way you want to.
And then
They
if you
just
think
work.
about the 83 version, oh man.
Okay, so this is going to be a hard one, and I'm going to add a little bit to this. Raph in our YouTube chat says, if you remake this movie in 2021, who do you have play Ash? And what I'm going to add is it cannot be Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Jordan
who
Clooney.
is Campbell 2.0?
The Rock.
Okay, so are we,
The Rock.
are we talking about the origins of Ash, or is Ash already established?
So are we doing
Uh,
Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2? Are we casting
Right.
Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2?
Evil Dead.
Okay, so you're casting
This
Evil Dead.
movie remade with 2021, CGI, practical effects, whatever, same script, same all the way across the board. Who's Ash?
Well, you're gonna have to have someone who's young, someone who's college age, because that's what the characters are. So all the people that I'm thinking of, like the
Jonah
Rock
Hill.
or someone like that. Oh my God, that guy, he's like 45 now.
I'm just playing.
That's like having fucking Michael Cera show up. Are you
I mean,
okay down there?
Who played Ant-Man? His name?
Oh,
Rudd.
Paul
Paul Rudd would be a great fucking Ash, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, also because Paul
Yeah.
Rudd hasn't
doesn't
aged. He doesn't age since Clueless.
Yeah.
You know, who I think would make a pretty killer Ash, Timothy Oliphant
Who is
Yeah.
that?
from Justified.
Otter from Animal House.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just playing.
Yeah. I just
Timothy
remember him in
Oliphant.
Justified. I liked his, and I remember him in Gone in 60 Seconds, and I always thought he would be a pretty fun.
Dude, his. Do you ever see The Crazies?
Yeah.
Dude, Timothy Oliphant's amazing at that.
He's Cobb Vanth, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is in the Mandalorian.
Hey, no, I get it. That's just my opinion.
I agree. No, I
But
agree.
you would
That's
need,
my-
you would need
that's a
someone
good
young,
one.
and I don't know. I
Yeah, he
can't. I
is in
can't
his
think of it.
50s.
I can't think of anybody young that would maybe the kid that's what was the movie where they Dunkirk, the kid that was in Dunkirk.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I don't. His name escapes me, but I know exactly who you're
The
talking
same
Was
about.
he-
kid that was in Chernobyl. He had to shoot the dogs.
Yeah, I think so. Dude, that scene. Oh my God, that scene. Oh Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say maybe Tom Holland. I mean, if we're gonna go there.
Oh yes. Fuck
Yes. Yeah, I could dig
Fuck
it.
Okay.
Lot of
Make
room
that
to
movie
grow.
right
Boom.
now.
Yeah.
Sold.
But I think
Yeah.
there's a reason
Sold.
the remake didn't recast Ash, and they went a completely different way. They didn't have that character in there.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the remake, and I really love the remake, man. The remake is fucking awesome. I love the changes that they threw to it, the changes in characters, the reason
It's
why they're
scarier.
at the fucking cabin.
Dude, it's so
Oh,
good.
dude, yeah,
It's
so
a better
good.
movie.
fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I
it.
think
It's a better
I don't
movie.
know
The-
if I would say it's a
the-
better movie, but
The
it's
practical
definitely
effects are
scarier.
top fucking notch. Oh
The-
my
the
god!
lead-
I think
the
it's
lead
a better movie, and I
actress
think
is
it should
great.
be. I think it
It is.
should be a better movie.
It is.
And I think it is. That's what I'm saying.
It is.
It doesn't shit on the first one, but
No,
it's better.
It's respectful, but it's better. It's well
It's
done.
just better.
I
yeah.
think that for me the practical effects in this one and just the way the timing and the editing and everything, I just prefer the original over the remake. But I haven't seen the remake in almost 8 years or whatever.
It's so good.
Oh god!
You know what the
We're
problem with
watching
the
Just so fucking
the
good.
problem with the remake is that it's called Evil Dead. Like if that movie
Yeah.
was not called
But
Evil Dead,
it's based on the same premise,
Yeah.
though. You just
Nah,
just
I
oh,
respect
but- and by the way,
and it's
after
box office
watching,
haul.
how did it do? Did it Evil
Phenomenal.
Dead?
Made $100 million.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved
Made
it. I
$100
thought it was
million.
great. After watching Evil Dead, I was like, oh shit! I never realized how much Cabin in the Woods is basically Evil Dead,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
with the guys controlling shit in the background.
That's
Right.
why we can't watch it yet, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I love that movie. I think it subverts everything that the horror movies do, and I just love it so much. What else I got you, Ethan. Yeah, we won't give away spoilers on that. But as for the Evil Dead, is there anything else you guys want to say specifically about this movie? The last thing I want to talk about, and Ethan brought it up, is the stop motion animation at the end. Initially, they weren't going to do that. They were going to do just like balloons filled with smoke, and then they were just going to have the characters smoke away. But to have them decay and have like the Book of the Dead with the tongue coming out, all that stuff. The other Deadite do that. It's just 5 minutes almost of glorious stop motion goodness, and it's cheesy as fuck. Like it almost doesn't fit in. It's great though, don't you love it? Like
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
It,
Yeah,
I'd
as a,
separate it from other fucking slasher fucking horror movies at that point.
And as a stop motion filmmaker myself,
there you go.
I would like to say it's very inspirational. Yes.
I like when the green
That was
booger
actually pretty good.
That was
I
pretty
feel
good.
inspired. I don't know about y'all.
Just a touch of inspiration. Just a, just a
Is
little
there
bit.
anything else you guys want to say about the movie?
Watch it.
Fucking awesome.
For the love of God, this is horror history right here.
Yeah,
You
dude.
need
Well,
to
this-
watch it.
Recommend.
Okay,
I
wait,
think
there's one thing else we didn't talk
Yeah.
about. I'm sure y'all all know this, and it's a stupid little fun fact. But in The Hills Have Eyes, directed by Wes Craven, there's a poster of Jaws, and it's torn off because it's supposed to be the
Oh,
scariest movie
shit.
ever. In the basement, there's a fucking poster of The Hills Have Eyes,
Yes.
and it's torn off, which is them saying this is going to be the scariest fucking movie ever. And then
That's
whenever you go
awesome.
back, you watch fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. What are they watching on television when they're trying to fucking
Evil Dead,
every
baby.
week they're watching Evil Dead, and this went on for a couple other movies. After
That's fucking
And then
awesome.
the glove shows up in Evil Dead 2.
Yep. So
yeah.
I didn't know that, man. I didn't know
stupid
that.
little fact.
The other thing that I was
Fun
going to
little
point out
fact,
is the
fun
fact
fact.
that the cast went through hell to make this movie, and I think David
Yeah.
pointed that out earlier. But like, there was no stunt doubles. They were out in the middle of Tennessee in the coolest
Holding a
winter that
fucking
they had.
chainsaw 3 inches
The-
over a
the
woman
fa-
strapped to a table.
When it was
Everything's
running, the chainsaw was running,
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
and the
everything's
fake blood
practical.
froze.
They
All the
had to
fake
wear
blood
the,
froze. Yeah.
contacts in their eyes for longer periods of time than they went. They had a phrase called the latex point, which was the point in which they'd been in the makeup so long and they were in so much pain and agony, they would just freak out and rip it all off.
Well, his fucking shirt, Ash's shirt, got so covered in blood that they'd hang it up to dry, and it was so cold outside. He sat by the fire, and whenever he put it on, it shattered.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what was so fucked up is that they were gonna film in Detroit in the winter, but they're like, it's too cold in Detroit. We'll film in Tennessee, and Tennessee had the coldest winter in like 100 years.
Yep.
Talk about
Jesus.
shit fucking
And they
luck.
still made the movie, and that's what you gotta give.
It's
them
a
credit
love,
for.
yes,
This movie is 100% just a bunch of kids going,
passion.
we've got to do
Passion
this.
Project
It's punk rock
personified.
as fuck.
Yeah.
They
Like,
all stayed in the cabin also, and there was like 14 crew members. They're all sleeping in the same fucking living room for the most part.
You know what the cabin reminded me of? You ever watch the old Flintstones? you would see the exterior of the house and it was this small. You'd get inside, it was like a mile long.
Massive.
Yeah.
That's what this cabin
Yeah.
reminded me of. The outside the cabin was like this. Inside it had 47 rooms. It was just
Fucking
massive.
TARDIS.
Yeah.
But that adds to the insanity of it too, though. Also because they're stuck there. Like I love it whenever the bridge is torn up and like she's sitting above it and it looks like a hand is grasping at her. Like
Yeah,
I
that
absolutely
claw
love that
coming up
image.
out of the earth.
But they're stuck there. Like they know they can't go anywhere, and every time they leave, they don't know what it is, but it's zooming towards them and it's coming to get them. But then once again, they're not even safe because eventually it can just zoom through the windows. And it's that something's in the woods. Holy shit, something's inside my friend, and it's absolutely terrifying. And they go in as just a group of kids that just want to survive, like just want to have a good time, and now then it becomes survive the night. It's just absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, love the laughing deer head from the second movie.
Well, that's what's weird is that, again, I was watching this and they have the deer head mounted. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't wait for this to come alive. Nope. That's
Nope.
Wrong movie.
Second movie. Yeah. So guys, recommendations. David, what do you think?
No,
Fuck yes.
Yeah, big fuck yeah. Yeah. Jake, how about you? You recommend it?
unless you hate cool shit, yeah, don't watch this.
Jay McGroovy, what you think?
Yeah, you might want to skip it.
It's all right, I guess.
Ethan.
That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. Watch it. This is a masterclass and just filmmaking in general because Sam Raimi is a god behind the camera. Oh my god.
And a fucking devil too.
Well, yeah.
Evidently, he can be a rough guy to deal with. So he knows what he wants and he goes for it. He has a visual style that is wholly unique and 100% his own. And you can see that 100% being started here. And it's an inspiration, I think. This movie's an absolute inspiration to anyone.
Nice.
Necronomicon. This movie's an absolute inspiration to anyone who wants to be a filmmaker. These kids literally went out in the woods and made a movie that has stood the test of time. And it's legit holds up and it's scary. And it's such a fun hand-me-down movie. Like I said, I was so happy to watch it with Ethan for the first time. And eventually Ethan will have a friend. He watches it with them for the first time. And it's just one of those movies you go like, you haven't seen The Evil Dead? How have you not seen
we're watching that right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's a best friend kind of movie. It really.
Absolutely.
I like that. I like that Ducky said, and then eventually Ethan will have a friend.
Guys, Ethan's got a girlfriend. What are we talking about?
He skipped the friend part and went right for the girlfriend.
Yeah,
exactly. You gotta get it right.
He's in the girlfriend zone.
Has she seen it yet? Do you know?
I don't think so. So maybe I don't know that she's really into hardcore horror like that.
Are you trying to get your second girlfriend?
I get the feeling
I'll get an extra one so I can show Evil Dead to her.
The way Ethan answered that question, I get the feeling that she has told Ethan, listen, here's the deal. I don't like fucking horror movies, so quit fucking bugging me. I'm not going to watch them, okay? And Ethan's like, okay.
I got you. Oh, I wanted to mention, speaking of girlfriends, my girlfriend hates this movie, mainly because of the tree rape scene, okay? But she went to see the stage play version of it, and she said
it's
like
stage play.
Yes,
It's a musical.
Fucking
and
musical.
She said it's like a guar concert. You get soaked in blood. Like
I've
that
been there.
sounds awesome. You saw the stage play?
Yes. So there's a theater in Grand Prairie called Oh Look, and they put on the Silence of the Lambs musical, which was fucking amazing. And they every year on Halloween or during the week of Halloween, they put on the Evil Dead musical. The first 2 rows are covered in plastic bags. And so if you go in the first 2 rows, you are going to get soaked with fake blood. I sat in the back, but it is, if you guys,
sounds awesome.
It's like going to watch Gallagher.
Yes.
You know,
so if pandemic allows us, and we can go during the week when I know you guys are working, we'll try to set it up and go to field trip to go see Evil Dead.
Yeah, dude, let's do that. Fuck yeah.
You know, I might have to do that because
that sounds amazing. That sounds fun.
I don't know that she's into horror, but she's definitely into stage
musicals?
plays. So
yeah, and it
might
is
swing that one.
Bro, watch
songs.
South Park. Watch the South Park episode on musicals, and you're gonna be loving going to musicals.
But yeah, the songs are great, and it's more Evil Dead 2. But yeah, highly recommend.
Fuck yeah.
I'm down. I'm so down for that.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
All right, guys, let's get to some clips here. Let's
Here we go.
watch some fun. So let's begin with. Can everyone see it?
Think so.
Blackness. Cabin in the woods.
In the woods. I just love this shot of the car.
Dude, I want to get me a 78 Oldsmobile Delta 88.
I want the car from the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love this. How it's like, they know something's wrong. You know what I mean?
I was surprised this guy didn't get a better career after this. He
He was
kind of
great.
Yeah, he's charismatic.
good too, man.
Yeah.
Premonition.
I love this scene. Whoever's drawing is doing a great fucking job because I mean the end
Look at her
result
hands.
is the end result is fucking great also.
It
Even
looks
though
just
how-
like the book.
Yeah, it's so fucking great.
Yeah, and Jay pointed out, look at her hands. It's all veiny and
Yeah,
Yep.
it's turning
Yeah.
gray. Yeah, dude, this is like the fucking
Great choices. Great choices.
Yeah, I
She drew.
love the
She
way-
drew the first SpongeBob.
dude. Oh man, I got some for you here, Jay.
I'm here for it.
All right, I got you. I'll play it after this.
Are you ready, kids?
The words.
Hear the rest of it? No big deal.
Tatra amistrobin hazarta. Tatir mano mansizon hazan sobar. Samanda robza. Dar his hiker dan.
Did you hear that? Down La Rosa, the hikers. Basically, he said, it's like Sam and Bob are the hikers or something like that. So
Oh, okay.
Sobar. Samanda robza. Dar his hiker dan.
because they played the hikers at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah.
Landa.
Did they use the same voice, that same reel in Evil Dead 2?
No, they did
Oh,
not.
okay.
Because don't
There's
they
a
use
professor. There's a professor. There's a guy who actually
Yeah.
has a credited
Yeah.
role for that one. Bob Dorian is his name.
Shut it
Damn.
off.
Kanda.
Shut it off.
Kanda.
Real glass.
all right, we got a little bit of tree rape.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
How did I know
happening?
that this clip would show up? You didn't even get like the beginning out of it. Of course you get the fucking like last
The
half.
money shot. Jesus.
The money shot, dude.
Good God, Duck.
Jesus, Tech.
Judge if you want.
Dude.
Did you
Not
see
judging.
the?
Not judging. I've always been very uncomfortable with that saying.
Yeah.
Jesus. But it is the fucking scene that definitely says you're
Harvey Weinstein was an uncredited role in that.
Go on.
Or the novelization.
But
The
you know, it's
bridge.
funny.
Harvey
What's funny
Weinstein.
about that scene you didn't talk about is that they transfer her sounds into one of slight ecstasy. Y'all notice that towards the end of that?
Yes. Yeah.
And I always, this is my theory. This is a fun theory. Is that I believe once the creatures stopped like punishing her and started giving her ecstasy, whatever reason, I feel like that helped her escape because she literally does right after that.
Well,
I don't
they
know.
all the fucking everybody that's possessed seems happy at some point, and they're childlike and they're like euphoric.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she actually did escape its grasp, literally, in the literal sense. I just thought it was, I like.
Oh,
the fact she
okay.
got
You
out
meant
of it.
literally. I meant metaphorically. You're just weird now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
The
damn.
bridge. I love this. I love the way it looks with the hand grasping. Look at that. That's so badass.
That's
Just
pretty
like
cool.
The,
It's a good
it.
shot.
Hush. Text.
That scene made its way into the new one. That mangled claw bridge. That was a fun one.
So we got the playing card.
Okay, try this. Okay, it's a 7.
Ghostbusters ripped this off.
Spades.
Yeah.
Spades.
I don't know, some squiggly lines.
Sorry.
Maybe a star.
I don't want to look.
Awakened us from our ancient slumber.
So right here, she's not moving her mouth at all, and then
Yeah.
the later scene, she's moving her mouth. So like you can tell it's total ADR right there. Like fuck, I had some extra dialogue I was wanting to add in here right there, but
It works. Yeah,
it
totally
does.
works.
It seems like it's emanating from her, but every
It
other
makes it creepier almost that
It
she's not
does.
moving her mouth.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How many hits to the head? Love this. This is so big. I love it. All right, Jay, this is the scene you were talking about, man. It's
Oh yeah, this is ruthless.
freaking brutal. Get it off the hand. I love how the makeup cap off too.
This is one of those scenes that you can definitely see inspired Dead Alive.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was watching this, and Lindsay called on our way home from work, and she was like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to finish watching Evil Dead. Why are you playing Dead by Daylight?"
All the sounds.
Yeah, all the sounds. She thought I
Yeah.
was playing Dead by Daylight.
The moaning does go on quite long on some of these. And,
Yeah, these clips are long as shit.
Boom.
That's just absolutely brutal. This is that, like I said, I love that. You just hear it in the background, but you love her. And it's so creepy.
Hit her! Hit it!
Right there.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, Doug.
Oh,
Brutal. I love the red on the camera going over.
yeah, but she's missing her right hand, and you keep seeing the right hand in the frame sometimes.
you know, Jay brought up a good point. Imagine being in 1981 and seeing this for the first time,
Oh my
because
God.
really there had been nothing
Yeah, dude,
nothing
this is unreal.
this so extreme of the gore. I mean, yeah, you had Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and so those were incredibly gory, but there was something about this that was so extreme.
What if they walked into Reagan's bedroom and took a chainsaw to it?
Yeah.
And that's this movie.
Yep.
In a nutshell.
Right?
I was in a nutshell whenever this movie came out, so I don't know.
Hey!
So that's actually her
See,
under the floor.
At this point, the blonde guy is like the hero. He's like the alpha
yeah.
male. He's gonna
Yeah.
fucking survive. And,
Yeah.
and Ash is in the background being a fucking pussy.
First
Right.
blood. I mean, that's like he got first touchdown, guys.
Well,
That's all
even
I'm saying.
before that, he was the guy who fucking went down to the basement to check everything out
Yeah.
before all that shit even happened. So
He was definitely.
So what is the moral of the story?
he was
Be a pussy.
driving his best friend's car at the very beginning of it. Why are you driving my car?
Yeah. Be a pussy. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Spider veins.
Spider veins, spider veins.
That's cool.
Love that sound.
That
Oh
just-
Jesus! Let's get the shit out of it.
Oh, the way I love the way this is what I'm talking about. I love her in this. So good.
So good.
Wake up!
It's that scene from Airplane.
So they don't really show what happens to him, right?
Are you?
He just kind of perishes.
He goes in the woods and comes back.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think he tried going in the woods. The woods fucked him up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He found a path to get out, but then the woods attacked him.
Would not let him leave.
In the novelization, he does get butt raped.
Of course. Yeah.
She loves it. Shut up, Linda.
That's good.
Some parents in the world be a Linda. So I have a theory about how they shot that scene right there, right? So that's green screen, and they just put her in front of it. So whenever he's punching her, it looks more intense, and she's reacting to it as it's coming.
Why would they do
Replay
green
it.
screen?
I don't know. I mean, but it looks like two different shots. You get what I'm saying? Not green screen, but they just superimposed another image. They're shooting camera face on, and they're shooting her from behind, but it wasn't actually him doing that. If you watch it again, it doesn't look like it's whatever.
They were filmed at two different times, her and then him.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does.
It does.
So that's in the background, and then yeah. So it's two different images laid on top of each other, like the fucking Parent Trap or some
Help me, please.
Oh, what happened?
I broke your computer with that theory.
She's just so unsettling. I had to look at her. Just like,
Yeah.
We're gonna get you. Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.
I don't like it.
You're right. The clock in the background.
I like it.
I just noticed that too.
Scared
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
Frozen.
I love this realization that he's fucked.
Yeah, look at the damage that has happened to him afterwards, though. Like, you don't see it. He's got bones protruding from his fucking wrist.
Oh, yeah,
his
Scott is
rib
messed
cage.
up.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah. But Ash, like, he's saying, like, we'll get out of here.
So
Like,
we can all get out of here together. You, me, Linda, Shelley.
Parts of Shelley.
Shelley.
Not even looking at him while pouring water into his mouth.
Not Shelley.
The chainsaw.
Shitty.
Like the Lady of the Lake right here.
Love it. Love the editing.
Good reference, Jay.
Yeah, thought you'd like that. Dude.
Don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it.
It's gotta get closer, Bruce. Closer.
How many?
Don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
Obviously, none of them are a part of a union because there's no fucking way that they would allow that. So many laws were broken during the making of that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he was
For
this
sure.
close to her nipples. My God.
The planks.
That's a whole other episode itself. That's
So those are styrofoam planks they used to sell back in the 70s that you could put up in your roof that looked like actual rafters, but they were just styrofoam. I don't know why they made those.
At one point,
Definitely swinging it like it's styrofoam.
you swing. At one point, he breaks it in half without it supposed to be breaking in half because they show pieces breaking off. But one part, you can see it splitting. And he's like trying to hold it together while he's hitting her. Right here, it's already broken. That's why he's.
Oh yeah, it just broke.
he just gets the shit kicked out of him in this movie, and it's
And he
fucking
does all his
wonderful.
own stunts.
Are you
Yeah,
going to show the decapitation scene?
I believe so. I think I clicked it. I think you have to. There it is.
Here. Okay, watch here. Look at the arm. Oh man.
Watching this again, you realize how influential he was on Dead Alive. What's his face?
Peter Jackson. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Are you
yeah.
shitting me?
That
So
whole scene of
right
her
up-
jumping in the air and like the priest, the karate priest thing.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Oh my
Kick ass
God.
with the Lord. Topsy turvy. I love this camera work once again.
Oh yeah. Good choice. Really good choice.
The mirror, of course. We got to do that. Real bullets used.
No bullets, folks. Insane.
Authentic.
Nice. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love it. That was my favorite one.
Oh.
Yeah. It's so good. And just what a mess at the end. It's just so wonderful.
They ran out of red blood for the movie. Bring up the blue blood.
So cool. It's
like the
cheesy
Booker.
as fuck, but I love this.
It's good for 1981.
Late night MTV.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, liquid
You are
television.
so right. It is like MTV kind of like they stole a lot of that.
Now it's about a couple years ago.
There you go.
Freaked.
Yeah, I love that. Such a cool shot.
Yeah.
So fucking visceral.
Not the cranberry sauce.
All right, the final scare.
All right. Good to go.
That was like brilliant filmmaking right then, though.
Well, you know,
So
so you know
good.
that horror movie I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I have stopped it. The reason why I stopped working on it is because of spring, and that it's not going to look nearly as good.
Ruining the fucking mood of the
Yes,
movie.
That
I have to
overcast, man.
overcast, and the woods have to be dead.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah.
it's too green. It's just too fucking green. So everything's on hold to the fall.
That's good filmmaking, Jessup. I ain't
Thank you,
faulting
sir.
for
Yep.
that. That's fucking awesome.
Well, guys, that's our look at The Evil Dead. What a great movie. Just watching the clips with
Fantastic.
you guys
Yeah,
again,
dude.
I'm just sitting
Yeah,
there going like, this is
solid as fuck.
so good. So with that said, David, where can they find you on the internet?
Stop Motion Nightmares on Facebook and Instagram on Children of Dave. And then tomorrow night, Addison Improv. Let's be there. 8
I'll see
o'clock.
you there.
Fuck
May
yeah.
the 4th be with you. And
May
also with
4th.
you.
Fuck yeah. And you
be
can
there.
check us out. The podcast, you can go over to wearepodcast.podbean.com. We have We Are Air. We talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, Jake, and Hobbs. We are inching close to our 100th episode. The next time we record, it'll be 100 episodes will be our air. So we are super
Awesome.
Oh
excited about
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
We Are Bagu, a video game podcast where me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. Once school's done, we're going to start kicking those back up again and start recording some video game stuff. So we'll let you guys know what's going on with that. You can check out Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. That's where we play some D&D. Hopefully we'll be doing that also. And also you can join our Discord. The link is in the description. And come check us out every Monday for Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Central Time. Also, I've been doing a series of videos called Wappin' Reviews, which is We Are Podcast Network Reviews. I've got a bunch of those out right now, so please go over to the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are, and check those out. I have a blast making those, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really good.
With that said, thank you so much, guys, for being here again. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and keep horror in your heart. I remembered to say it.
So proud.
Got to keep that horror in your heart. I always say it at the end. I always forget. So with that said, thank you so much for checking us out. Tomorrow, David's going to rock it. We can't wait to check out that show tomorrow. So we will talk to you guys next week from Bio Hunter. With that said, Ethan, please cut
Another fucking anime.
the feed.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp Slash Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.